Who wouldn't want a perfectly balanced life? Who want relationships, health, finances, career, all just humming along.
Yeah, that ideal picture.
But let's be real, for most of us, the reality is often that something is out of whack. You're stressed, things feel out of sync, and you just feel like life is constantly throwing you off balance. Have you ever felt that?
Absolutely. It seems like we're all chasing this perfect equilibrium, relationships, health, money, work,
Right.
but the actual experience, almost always different.
And our usual reaction is just to, like, grit our teeth and try harder, force things back into line.
Pretty much. Push harder.
Well, get ready, because this deep dive is into a book with, well, a wildly different take. It's called Momentum, Letting Love Lead by John-Roger and Paul Kaye.
And the core idea is quite a shift. The book basically argues that wishing for constant balance in all those key areas, it's actually unrealistic.
Unrealistic. Why?
Because fundamentally, everything in the universe is in constant motion. Nothing stands still.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission here is to really get into the heart of this book, Momentum. It doesn't see imbalance as just a problem to fix with more effort.
No, quite the opposite.
Instead, it suggests there's inherent wisdom, maybe even opportunity, within that imbalance.
Exactly. Opportunities for growth.
So the path isn't forcing balance, but learning these simple, practical ways of being loving in the moment.
Yeah.
And letting that consciousness, that loving, lead you. We want to pull out the most powerful insights and tools from this book for you, the listener.
Yeah, it's presented almost like a course in loving, a practical guide for navigating life from a completely different place. And, some pretty significant figures have resonated with it.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Jean Houston, the psychologist philosopher, she called it a spiritual gem, said it guides you on how to live each moment as an occasion for loving.
Wow.
And the actress Olivia Hussey said it's a book she knows she'll read over and over again.
High praise indeed.
Yeah.
So what are we diving into specifically?
Well, we'll explore why this book sees imbalance as actually a good thing.
Yeah.
We need to clarify what loving really means in this context. It's maybe not what you first think.
Right.
Then get practical with the core practice, letting love lead.
And explore some of the really specific tools and concepts they introduce.
Exactly. Things like, I love this, different perspectives on forgiveness and acceptance, and really understanding your own inner power.
It sounds like a journey that shifts the focus from fixing the outside to transforming the inside.
It really is. And the book starts right off by tackling that idea of perfect balance we just talked about.
Right, because you might finally get, say, health and finances sorted, but then that perfect relationship you wanted,
Yeah.
still not there.
Yeah.
Or your career takes off, but your health tanks from the stress.
It often feels like whack-a-mole, doesn't it?
Totally.
And the book points out this paradox. The very act of trying so hard to keep everything in perfect static balance. That can actually be what makes life feel so unstable and stressful.
Yeah.
You fix one thing, another seems to wobble.
So the wisdom in imbalance is that it's proof of movement.
Exactly. And movement, the book argues, isn't chaos. It's what creates a dynamic, engaging life.
Yeah.
Full of learning, creativity, growth.
Life isn't a static picture. It's a flowing river.
Precisely. And where is this movement most obvious? Usually where we feel the most friction.
So the areas causing the most problems, the challenges.
Yeah, where we feel the most imbalance. The book suggests those are actually the places with the greatest momentum, the biggest opportunity for change. It's not a breakdown. It's potentially a breakthrough.
That's a really powerful reframe. So if my finances are a mess or there's conflict in a relationship, that's not just stress. It's where the most significant energy and opportunity for transformation is right now.
That's the idea. The book even suggests a simple check-in. Practice 1 is rating those 4 areas: relationships, health, finances, career, just 0 to 10.
Not judging, just observing.
Right. Just noticing where the flow or maybe the logjam is most prominent for you right now. It's about acknowledging the reality without that immediate impulse to just, force a fix.
Okay.
The whole approach shifts from trying to make life work, because the book says life already works in its own dynamic way,
To what?
to something else entirely, bringing loving into it.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. This fundamental shift.
Yeah.
Contrasting the game of life, trying to control things, make life work externally,
Manipulation.
with the game of love,
Yeah.
which is about bringing this consciousness of loving into every situation.
Right. And this whole book, this deep dive, is presented as a course in loving.
So we need to understand what loving actually means here.
Definitely. The book makes a really crucial distinction between love and loving.
Okay.
Love is described as the essence, the core being, the harmony within us, like the state of divine connection.
And loving.
That's the action, the manifestation, the movement, the conscious giving of that essence. They call it love in action.
Practical spirituality. Not just ideals, but applying it daily.
Exactly, moment by moment. And this is key. It's not the conditional emotional love we often think of, the sometimes fleeting kind in human relationships.
No. What is it then?
It's described as a neutral, impartial, unconditional spiritual living. Nothing is excluded from it.
Loving is constantly in motion, experiencing, expressing, giving. So it's not just a feeling you wait for, it's something you actively do.
You got it. And the central practice of the book flows right out of that understanding.
Which is?
Letting love lead. That's practice too. This is the fundamental shift. Instead of reacting from your usual habits, fears, ego, you pause and you ask, what would happen if I let love lead in this moment?
Okay, but how do you actually know what love leading looks like in a specific, messy moment?
Well, the source outlines a process. First, stop your automatic reaction. Just stop.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, definitely. Then ask the question internally. And then listen. Listen inwardly for guidance.
What kind of guidance?
Could be anything. A quiet inner voice, maybe a clear image, a simple thought, even just a gut feeling.
Okay, but how do you know it's real guidance and not just wishful thinking or your ego?
This is crucial. The book gives you a check. 2 criteria.
What?
First, does this guidance promote or enhance health, wealth, happiness, loving, caring, or sharing for you?
And second?
Second, does it serve or assist others in some way? And the key is, both answers must be a clear yes.
Both. Okay, that's a strong filter. That makes sense. It keeps the ego in check.
Exactly.
But honestly, when you're stressed or angry or scared in a tough situation, stopping, asking, listening, that sounds incredibly hard.
It is. The book acknowledges up front it takes enormous strength, real courage, especially when you feel triggered or vulnerable.
So where does that strength come from?
It comes from connecting to that inner essence, that love within you we talked about. It's like a muscle you build with practice. And the book includes this affirmation. Who you are is enough. Self-acceptance, even of your struggles, your mistakes. That's fundamental. It helps you align with that inner strength. It even attracts supportive people, the book suggests.
And there's another practice, right, introduced early on. Something simple, but maybe powerful when you're struggling.
Yes. I love this. Practice 3.
Okay, tell me about that. You just say, I love this, even if you hate it.
Pretty much. The book says you consciously say, I love this, or I love this situation, even if you absolutely don't feel love for it.
Why? What's the point?
The purpose is radical acceptance, pure acceptance of the reality of the moment. You're not saying you like the difficult thing. You're just declaring acceptance that it is. The book suggests repeating this, even if it feels robotic or like a lie at first, helps you bypass that emotional resistance.
And get to a more neutral place.
Exactly, a more open place. From there, you can potentially access that inner guidance and let love lead. It's surprising how it can shift your state over time.
That makes a lot of sense. Acceptance as a pathway, not a destination you have to feel right away. It's an action.
Yes, connects right back to loving being in action. And speaking of inner knowing, the book then gets into what it calls the mysteries of the known.
Ooh, intriguing. What's that about?
It's this paradox. We often know what's truly best for us, right? What the right thing to do is.
Yeah.
But we just don't do it.
Guilty as charged.
Right. So it asks you to look at that area where you feel the most imbalance, that challenge area.
From practice 1, the rating thing.
Yeah. And honestly, ask yourself, what do I know deep down I should be doing here that I'm not? Not what you think or feel or were told, what you know.
And conversely, what am I doing that I know isn't serving me?
Exactly. Like knowing you should put away the credit cards but keeping them handy anyway. Or knowing you should eat better but the junk food stays.
That internal disconnect.
So practice 4 is listen to yourself. Developing the ability to consistently hear that inner knowing, that guidance.
And using those 2 checking questions again to filter it.
Yes. Promoting enhancement for self and serving others. That's the filter for true guidance versus just a thought or a desire.
Okay. The book also offers a perspective tool, right? Getting distance.
Yeah, getting altitude on a situation. It uses that great analogy of an astronaut orbiting Earth.
Ah, right. Seeing the harmony from above.
Exactly. From way up there, you see the beauty, the wholeness. But down on the ground, you might be totally consumed by some small personal drama, a bad date, whatever.
Perspective changes everything.
Totally. From high altitude, the personal stuff seems smaller. From ground level, you might miss the big picture harmony completely. The book suggests our perspective determines if something feels like chaos, or just okay, or maybe even something you can eventually love.
Finding that inner altitude.
And complicating all this inner listening and perspective stuff is the idea that we're multidimensional beings, constantly interacting energetically,
Right.
meaning we're more than just bodies and thoughts. The example they give is walking through a crowded mall or train station and suddenly feeling drained or irritable, even if you felt fine before, or talking to someone upset, and suddenly you feel that knot of anxiety in your stomach.
So we're picking up on other people's energy, their negativity.
The book suggests we can, yeah. And that energy can interact with our own energy field. It can even trigger our own personal reference points for upset.
So their anger might feel like my anger, their anxiety like mine.
It can seem that way, which raises a vital point.
How do you tell the difference? Is this upset mine, or did I just pick it up from someone else?
The key, according to the book, is knowing your own stuff. Your typical triggers, your usual patterns of upset.
Self-awareness again.
Exactly. That helps you distinguish what's yours from what might be external energy you've absorbed. And if you suspect it's external or just want to clear your field,
There's a technique.
yes. Practice 5. Clear, disengage, and disconnect. Simple action, hand over your forehead.
Okay.
And you silently or quietly say, clear, disengage, and disconnect through the light for the highest good.
Through the light. We'll probably come back to that. But that sounds like a powerful energetic boundary tool.
It is. Declaring your intention to return to your own clear space. Separating from energy that isn't serving you.
Which helps you be more present,
Yeah,
connected to your own guidance.
definitely. Which leads us nicely into the next chapter, all about being present.
The classic spiritual teaching, be present, live in the moment. This moment is all there is.
Yep. But we all know how hard that can be. Constant distractions.
So how does the book make it practical?
Simplest way. Most direct. Conscious breathing. Practice 6.
Just breathing.
Your breath is always with you, right?
Yeah.
Focusing on it is presented as the easiest doorway back to your loving, back to the present.
And the physical and mental benefits are huge. We know that. The book quotes experts.
Right. Dr. James Gordon calling it maybe the single best anti-stress medicine. Dr. Andrew Weil saying it's the simplest, most powerful technique for health.
Slowing the heart rate, calming the nervous system, real tangible effects.
They are. And the book's recommendation is super simple. Take short, conscious breathing breaks daily, even just 3 10-second breaks. You can do it anywhere.
A quick reset button.
Exactly. Another tool offered for building spiritual energy and returning to presence is chanting. Practice 7. Chanting HU.
HU.
Yeah. The book introduces HU as a sacred sound, a name for God found across different ancient traditions.
Okay. And chanting, it helps.
It's presented as a way to build energy, attune with your spiritual self, and gently bring your awareness back to the present when your mind wanders off.
How do you do it?
Simple. Take a deep breath, exhale while sounding hu, like the name Hugh, but drawn out.
Right.
Repeat it 5-10 times, then just relax, maybe with the tension at your forehead or the top of your head.
So like breathing, it's a way to interrupt the mental chatter and reconnect.
The book also talks about observation as a skill for cultivating presence with loving neutrality.
Love and neutrality.
Yeah. The example is observing impatience. If you try to force yourself to stop being impatient, you often just fight yourself. But if you can simply observe it, notice the thoughts, the feelings, the physical sensations without judging it. The book suggests that allows the energy to just move through and dissipate. It's an active attention, a dynamic neutrality, not passive.
Like cultivating an inner witness.
Yeah.
Detached but aware.
Yeah. And all these practices, breathing, chanting, observing, they feed into this bigger challenge of our time, cultivating an inner life, an inner temple, when everything outside is pulling at you.
The spiritual life isn't just external practices.
No, it's about where you place your attention within, being the temple.
Right. And that leads us to a chapter with a very direct title, Victim No More.
Doesn't pull any punches, does it?
No, the book argues feeling like a victim. It doesn't actually come from the pain or struggle itself. because everyone faces that.
So where does it come from?
According to the source, it comes from letting your emotions and your reactivity run the show, giving away your power by focusing only on what's happening to you.
Instead of focusing on where you can choose to be within it.
Exactly. The choice, even in really tough times, is to embrace what's happening. Maybe using that "I love this" practice again.
That's a huge, challenging idea, and there's that powerful analogy they use.
Oh, the baby elephant.
Tethered by a tiny stake because it learned helplessness with a big chain when it was small.
Right. As an adult, we could easily pull the stake up, but it doesn't even try. Held back by the past.
The book suggests we do the same, held back by our own small stakes, past hurts, limiting beliefs, not realizing we have the power now to choose differently, to move differently.
And taking responsibility is the way out.
Yes, but responsibility defined not as blame.
But as
Owning your feelings, thoughts, actions, contrasting blaming others, trying to control the outside, playing the game of life, with focusing on internal control, changing your mind, choosing your attitude, choosing to be loving, playing the game of love.
it makes that point, too, that our most significant relationships, they exist primarily inside us.
Yes, as reflections of our inner state. So keeping relationships up to date isn't about fixing the other person,
It's about clearing our own internal stuff related to them.
which leads right into forgiveness.
Yeah.
Presented as this crucial tool for clearing the past, dismantling the limiting stories we tell ourselves about why we are the way we are.
Stories that are often just fiction based on the past.
The book suggests so. And the approach to forgiveness here, Practice 8, it's pretty radical.
How so?
It's not mainly about forgiving the other person or waiting for an apology, though that's fine. The core is forgiving yourself.
Forgiving myself. For what?
Forgiving yourself for holding judgments about others or about yourself.
So, like, saying I forgive myself for judging this person, or I forgive myself for judging myself for my part in this.
Exactly. That inner release is what truly matters, the book says. Lifting the burden of carrying that judgment, that hurt.
And they even cite medical evidence.
Yeah, studies suggesting people holding on to unforgiveness tend to have higher blood pressure. It quotes Carl Thoris from Stanford's Forgiveness Project.
What did he say?
Calls forgiving the most courageous act one can do. And that stark reminder, resentment is the poison that you take yourself while hoping that the other person will die.
Wow. That quote really lands. Forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you.
Profoundly for you. An act of self-preservation, inner power.
And then that section ends with this idea. Perfectly placed for your future success.
Yeah, another perspective shift. Your past doesn't determine you. You are perfectly positioned right now for future expansion, future success, whatever that means to you.
So it encourages creating a kind of success fantasy, imagining expansion.
And winning in that fantasy, allowing yourself to really feel that possibility.
Okay, so from forgiveness and responsibility, we move to the blessings already are, focusing on acceptance.
Chapter 6. This is about finding joy, finding peace, even when things are really difficult, simply by accepting them as they are, without needing them to change first.
And there's that powerful story, Jacques Lucéron, Buchenwald.
Yes, Lucéron and Jeremy in the concentration camp. Lucéron, blind, found he could only perceive an inner radiance when he was in a state of loving.
And Jeremy, the other prisoner.
Radiated joy and acceptance despite the horror, didn't judge the situation or the guards.
How's that possible?
Lucéron observed that prisoners who saw themselves as being in hell died quickly. Jeremy just saw it as humans carrying on in a difficult setting. The insight, Buchenwald, is within each of us.
Our minds create the hell, our judgments.
That's the idea. Jeremy found joy during his circumstances, not because of them, by breaking the habit of judgment, connecting with something deeper that didn't depend on circumstance.
It reminds me of Viktor Frankl, also mentioned in the book, also a survivor.
Yes, his logotherapy. The idea isn't to ask, why is this happening to me, but let life question us.
Like the traffic jam example.
Right. Instead of, why me, let the jam ask you, how patient can I be right now?
It comes back to choosing your attitude. Even when you can't choose the circumstances. Acceptance is called the first law of spirit.
Because, the book says, most suffering comes from that gap between what should be our expectations, judgments,
And what is the reality?
acceptance closes that gap, dissolves the inner conflict, the problem.
And it's not passive resignation, right?
No, the book is clear on that. It's active, attentive, a direct path to joy, peace, being in your loving now. Letting go of resistance actually allows things to shift more naturally.
And acceptance means loving everything, even irritating neighbors, even your own anger or depression.
Seeing them simply as what is, opportunities for learning, for wisdom, not flaws to be eradicated immediately.
Okay, moving from acceptance. Chapter 7 talks about releasing control, let go and let God.
Right. Expanding consciousness, moving forward, often means letting go of what holds you back.
Like old belief systems.
Yeah. The book encourages examining them. What did you inherit versus what actually works for you now? If a belief or situation feels contracting, heavy, that's a sign it's not serving you.
So you identify what isn't working, a belief, an emotion that need to control.
Risk letting it go, creating space.
And then trust. Let go and let God.
Exactly. Let go is relaxing because you're not ultimately in charge. Let God is being patient, trusting that things will be taken care of by a higher power, a universal intelligence.
And that God isn't necessarily external.
Right. It's also within you. Listening within helps you attune to that inner guidance. Practice 9, letting go and letting God, is about physically relaxing, breathing, connecting with spirit within and around.
Prayer is also mentioned. Practice 10.
Yeah, keeping it simple. And the source mentions growing research on the power of prayer, even non-specific prayer.
Like that study with heart patients. Better outcomes even if they didn't know they were prayed for.
The suggestion is turning outcomes over to God, or the light, is way more effective than worrying. Worrying is just harmful, ineffective energy.
Which brings us to the light. That's practice 11, right? Asking for the light.
Yes, described as the highest, purest spiritual force, an emanation of God, always available.
So asking for it isn't summoning it from far away.
No, it's more like asking yourself to be present with this force that's already there. Like focusing on your breath brings you into the present moment.
And you can place problems in the light.
Yeah, I place this problem situation in the light for the highest good, releasing it to be handled by that higher power. Or you can actively send light to others or difficult situations.
Which the book frames as using your own divine nature to assist.
Exactly. The encouragement is just to experiment. Trust that even if the outcome isn't what you expect, something beneficial is happening.
All these practices, breathing, chanting, forgiveness, acceptance, the light, they all seem to support this core message, which comes together in Chapter 8, a spiritual perspective.
This is where it really shifts your self-view, using that Teilhard de Chardin quote.
We are not human beings having spiritual experiences. We are spiritual beings having human ones.
Our self-definition shapes our whole life experience.
So the book proposes seeing yourself not just as a struggling human,
but as a divine being, a superhero even, with inherent superpowers.
Superpowers.
Choice, love, forgiveness. Those are key ones mentioned.
And how do we deny these powers?
Comparing ourselves, feeling unworthy, focusing only on external validation or control. The book makes a point, wanting to control others, not a superpower.
Real power is internal.
Yes, like the power to shift your own perspective, choose your attitude.
And the kryptonite, what weakens these inner superpowers?
Judgments. And victimhood.
Ah, back to victimhood.
Just like Jeremy in Buchenwald retained his power by not identifying as a victim, embracing victimhood disconnects you from your divine abilities, from the power of choice itself.
So practice 12 is claiming your superpowers. How do you do that?
Consciously accept this divine identity, find ways to remember it, especially when challenged.
Like?
Maybe choose a superhero name embodying a quality you want. Freddie the Fearless, Linda Loving, find a symbol, a talisman, or adopt a physical posture, your personal superhero stance.
So striking that pose when you feel triggered, it can actually shift your attitude, help you access that inner strength.
That's the idea. Letting love lead becomes an act of accessing who you truly are, that inner superhero, that spiritual being, to face challenges without losing your center.
The loving perspective ties it all together, back to basics. Loving God, loving your neighbor, loving one another.
Not just nice ideas, presented as the very nature of your being.
And the book loops back to that medical evidence again, asking, why wait for a crisis? Why wait for illness to choose happiness, relaxation, loving now?
When the evidence shows prayer, forgiveness, laughter, conscious breathing, all these inner shift practices are profoundly good for your physical health.
If you get nothing else, it says, maybe understand those 4 simple health truths.
Exactly. And finally, Chapter 9, keeping up the momentum brings it all home.
The principle seems simple but deep. When imbalance or disturbance hits,
See it not as a problem, but as movement, energy and motion.
and the immediate question is,
How can love lead me now?
and if you feel stuck,
Mm.
Resistant.
Use any of the practices we talked about. The book even suggests just loving yourself for resisting can be a way back in. It's always available.
It really reinforces that seeking fulfillment only outside yourself, external balance, success, validation that's living outside in.
And it always leaves you feeling dissatisfied because true fulfillment isn't out there.
Letting love lead is living inside out, connecting to that source within.
Right. And it gently prompts you, the listener, to reflect. Where are you now in those 4 areas compared to when you started thinking about this? Notice the movement, the momentum, just from engaging.
And it leaves you with that final question to carry forward, straight from the book.
Where does love lead you now?
This deep dive into momentum, letting love lead, it really offers a profound, a practical reframing of our struggles, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not about getting rid of challenges. It's about learning to navigate them from a different place.
Yeah.
Inner strength, choice, activated loving.
It's powerful. Shifting from feeling like a victim of imbalance
To seeing it as the very energy driving you toward growth. Simply by choosing to let love lead.
The challenges aren't roadblocks.
Yeah.
They're the raw material.
We're building momentum towards living more fully as the spiritual being you actually are.
So as you navigate the inevitable bumps and imbalances in your life this week, maybe consider this provocative thought. Perhaps the greatest momentum you can build isn't about outward success or achieving perfect external balance, but maybe it's the inward movement. Choosing to let your true nature, that inherent loving within you, guide you. Choosing to accept yourself and your life exactly as it is right now.